Hey everybody, Tony D and Little Joan with a hot take about YouTube. And I guess I have to answer your comments live because YouTube apparently is censoring some of your comments. So this has been happening for a while. Sometimes I see your comments, but then they don't show up. Let me go to the first one. Greg Evans had a comment which I can't see. It's not where it's supposed to be under the video about cuties that I did. Greg Evans says, seems every time I turn around, Netflix is doing something highly questionable. How can any responsible adult think it's okay to allow their children to be exploited? And then it cuts off there. I think that's his entire thought there. Yeah, I agree with you, Greg. I mean, this is part of, though, I think, child stars, raising a kid to be an actor, that kind of thing. I think a lot of times it is, the parent who pushes for it. It's not so much the kid. I mean, it's rare that a kid is that focused. I knew someone who was very young who wanted to be an actress when she was like 16 and probably before, and she went to a fame school and the whole thing. But I think those are rare, and it is giving up part of your childhood. And I think, if someone who's a teenager doesn't understand it and process it, they kind of sense it. I think it's a very unusual person. I think I might have been okay under those circumstances if my parents had said, "Hey, do this," because I am an oddball in that way. I think I would have thrived under those circumstances, not to be exploited, but to be a child star kind of thing, because I would have liked the acting and would have given me an excuse to be an oddball. But I think for young children, this is just, it's unseemly. The whole thing is unseemly because, again, for cuties, they're joining a twerking competition, a twerking thing, and that's, it's more sexual. It's not appropriate for little girls to be doing that. That's too much for them. Joan's very upset, as you can see. And the outfits are inappropriate. So if it was not those outfits and a dance that wasn't, so grindy, then I'm sure it would have been fine. I mean, who would have balked if it was cuties and it was a bunch of ballerinas, right? You would have been like, oh, that's sort of cute. I mean, again, it's not a movie I would see. But at least it wouldn't be an uncomfortable movie because it would be about a group of girls doing things that little girls do. Little girls do ballet. Little girls shouldn't be twerking. Not in public anyway. Not exactly. Not as a performance piece. Joan, you make a lot of good points. I hope none of your comments were ruined in the thing. Okay? Let's see. I believe this one didn't get through either. Oh, no, I did comment on this one. Vash the Stampede is talking about the corruption in the New Mexican government. Here, Joan, just come over here, then. You're going to be a pill. Oh, gotcha. That's an interesting comment, Vash. I'll just point it out. That's under the Piney podcast. So that they're having some problems with their state government and their connections apparently with the Mexican mafia, according to Vash, which doesn't surprise me. Vash also says, this is Vash the Stampede or Vash the Stampede. That's a famous anime character if you're not into anime. This is my hot take on the tragedy that is Antifa and BLM. And I said, Antifa is being banned finally from Facebook, as was QAnon. And Vash says sarcastically, ban QAnon because they have beat and killed how many people? Yeah, that's true. I mean, like I said, I think QAnon is mostly harmless and shouldn't be banned. But, Antifa is actually organizing acts that are criminal. They're criminal acts. I mean, there's no getting around the criminality of it. You could talk all day of like, well, how many people have they killed? Well, they have killed people. And at the very least, they've caused the deaths of people. And they certainly nearly killed this guy recently. for no reason that I could see, no good reason. I mean, if you get into a fight with an actual group of bad people from World War II, or their descendants, I should say, then no one's really going to care, but you don't attack those people. When you run out into the suburbs of Portland or Portland proper, you're just cannibalizing the very people who tacitly support your antics. They support socialist programs, they support left-wing politicians. You're not radicalizing them further left. You've driven all the moderates and certainly probably most of the conservatives out of Portland. Yes, now as a collective, you've driven the politics further left, but there's a limit to how left you can go in the United States. And that's only in Portland. And maybe parts of Washington, let's say, or Oregon. No, Portland's in Oregon. So, let's say you take over the whole state. Okay, let's say Portland, it spreads, but the only way you can do that is by, you're not adding to your numbers. You're not recruiting anybody, Antifa. Antifa is not recruiting. They have a very limited, thin amount of people they can recruit. They have to be college students who have been taught this nonsense, and they believe it, and they sign on. You're not gaining thousands and thousands of fans and recruits. You're losing them. By going into the suburbs, you've lost people. You've turned people against you. By rampaging in the streets, you've turned people against you. And some of them are actually in your ranks, but they've quietly faded away because those people are not going to announce, well, hey, I don't agree with this. They realize, oh my God, what have I done? And they just stop showing up to the meetings. And maybe they just leave. Maybe they just leave town and say, oof, thank God I got out of there. They don't really have the money or the time, or it's not worth the effort for them to officially quit you. So what you're left with is a smaller and smaller pool of zealots who are doing more and more damage. And at some point, you're going to hit a wall. You're just going to hit bedrock, and it's going to be you versus people like Ted Wheeler and Jenny Durkin and the handful of remaining cops who aren't going to be the professional cops, by the way. They're going to be the cops that either couldn't afford to get out or don't care. And right now, they're perfectly fine with letting you tear apart the city. They don't care. They don't care. At some point, the switch is going to be the other way. And then they're going to come in and grind you guys down. And then they won't care about you. They won't care, oh, we're going to beat up some Antifa guys today? Okay. They'll just beat you up. Sorry to get a rant on Antifa, but, and this one, too, I really would love to respond to this one because this one was on one of my screenwriting videos. This is Kai Muyaki, who's, I think, a new poster. Thanks for posting, Kai. Commented on my How to Write a Mafia Screenplays screenwriter thing. And Kai says, I don't plan on writing a movie, but I'd like to write a fan fiction. So this helped me with figuring out how to make my fic as realistic as it could be as a mafia-themed fan fiction of an anime ship. Good. I'm glad that helped you. I would say, though, Kai, that writing fan fiction is something that's fun. I'm not a huge supporter of fan fiction. What I would advise you to do is to think about writing something original. Because if you're going this far to write fan fiction, it's just a few steps more to write your own original stuff. In that vein, you could still keep it in that vein. Now, when you say an anime ship, I assume it's maybe you're doing something like based on One Piece. If they're like pirates, maybe. I'm just guessing. Maybe it's a space mafia thing that I don't know about in anime. But if you write an original piece, you can make up your own rules essentially, and you could use the mafia advice I've given you to kind of augment it to some degree. So thank you and good luck with that. And think about what I said about writing something original. Now, the other big thing I have to tell you all is that, now let me see if I can show you. I guess see if I can find it. Just search my own channel. I think it was my Kanye West video, and that would have been under that would have been under hot takes. That's me. No, I don't want to play the hot take. I want to see. I guess it was under political too. So I gotta see the whole list. Oh, here we go. All right, so I gotta find the Kanye West thing I did a while back, if I can find it, and I can show you that I believe that either the algorithm or YouTube proper has censored me, because I was getting some fairly steady hits from the Kanye piece, and then suddenly it ended. Now, normally, when you have a video that's getting some hits and getting a little bit of traction, you get, you keep getting hits from it. Where the heck is this? You just keep getting hits, and then it's kind of slowly dies, over a period of time. Oh, here it is. So this is a Kanye thing. I'm going to pause it. I don't want to play it. But if I look at the analytics of it, something very strange happens. See, all the way up to, this is only to the first 32 days, August 20th. It just kind of stopped getting hits. See? It's just been stuck right here at 426. Just sort of stopped dead in its tracks. And it's kind of weird because this was going up. Look how steady this was. This was solid in my feed for a while, of making me, it was in my top trending videos, the top 10, and now it's just out. It's just stopped dead in its tracks right around 426. Like 424. It stopped at 424. And it seems like they've, I don't know, stepped on the brake somehow. But other videos from the past continue to get hits. And I think it's weird that the Kanye West video stopped getting hits, because it's Kanye West. He's very famous. And I wouldn't expect it to get a lot of hits. I mean, it only got 426, but I don't really understand. Maybe I'm misinterpreting the algorithms here or something. But seems to me this was clicking along, and now it's just dead. So I guess what I'm telling you is you got to watch out for YouTube. When I don't respond to one of your great comments, and again, I've seen some of your comments just disappear. I see them in the other portion. See, like, they should all come up here. All the comments should be up here. The published and likely spam, that doesn't even come up. Nothing's been held for review. It just, I don't get everything. So this is my analytics here. As you can see, we're doing about 1870. Now we have flatlined here because I took down that insanely popular video that I had. But this is the top videos in this period, and the Kanye one just dropped out. And the Kanye one is from a few weeks, maybe a week and a half ago, and I still have this one from March 6th. It's still up. It's still my top video. I mean, it's got 366 views, but for some reason it's still my top video, where the Kanye video got even more. Why isn't that one the top video? I don't understand how this works. Maybe somebody in the comments can explain it to me if the comment doesn't disappear. But anyhow, if you have an important comment and you are frustrated that I'm not responding to it, or you don't see it pop up, I am on Twitter. I'm on Parler. I'm on Gab. You know what? I'm going to start putting the links in the description. I probably should be doing that. So if you want to contact me on social media with your comments or whatever, or just, link up with me, let me know you're a subscriber. And, feel free to post a link to one of my videos. That would help out the channel tremendously. And little Joan will get a treat every time you do that. How about that? All right, on to the next one.